very much. Just please make sure you're taking good notes of Senator Grassley's questions and that we get timely responses. One of the frustrations of being in our line of work is that very often people in your line of work say that you'll get back to us and then don't, so please do. A couple of things. With respect to DOJ, there's been a lot of talk in this hearing about fentanyl scheduling and making it permanent. And when we start down that path, there are very often definitional issues that come up about what is a fentanyl knockoff or what is sufficiently like or not like fentanyl so that people can know whether it's being scheduled. What is being scheduled, I should say. It is a highly technical question. Can you get me whatever DOJ's latest and greatest is on what language you would like to see in a fentanyl scheduling statute? Mr. Kimball?
Thank you for your question, sir. Yes, we can.
Great. I'd appreciate that. And I would say that cooperation amongst all of your agencies seems to be improving, and the focus on the illicit finance networks that prop up the fentanyl dealers seems to be improving. I think we still have a pretty significant gap with financial secrecy in the U.S., where you don't need to bring the money home in some instances. You buy yourself a house, you open up a big stock account, you take advantage of your ability to travel to the U.S. and basically build assets for yourself here, again, protected by U.S. rule of law, and very often secrecy interferes. And it is a recurring frustration of mine that investment houses aren't subject to the same anti-money laundering and transparency requirements as banks. And real estate is very often an easy way to hide stolen assets in the United States. So the more you can continue to press in those areas, I'm the author of the Enablers Act. I would love to see that pass into law. I'd like to make sure that your agencies are encouraging that as much as possible, continuing the geographic targeting orders on a regular basis and for a long time, I think will be a really strong signal to markets, so I would encourage that as well. And I'll turn it over to Senator Lujan in 1 second, but with respect to the business of the precursor chemicals coming into Mexico from China, Mr. Kimball, you've got an enormous amount of experience. If you were giving advice to a new DEA agent going into Mexico to try to address this problem, what are the opportunities and difficulties that you'd brief them on with respect to how you track a precursor when the precursor itself is not contraband as you're trying to defeat the fentanyl trade?
Thank you, Chairman, for that question. The trafficking of precursor chemicals is extremely difficult for all of us at the table to track and to deal with. Precursor chemicals come in a lot of different shapes, forms, and substances, and nowadays the chemical companies in China are selling them in a manner where it's very easy to mix them to produce fentanyl. We really look at the way that illicit finance is used to purchase chemicals, that's a very good pointer system to actually what companies are selling precursor chemicals. So we're starting off with known Mexican cartel members.
That's an important clue.
Yes.
If there's a legitimate transaction that buys the precursor chemical, it's a signal that its use is likely to be legitimate, where if it's illicit funding, that's a pretty good sign its use is likely to be illicit?
Yes, sir. So we start off looking at the known target from the Sinaloa or CJ&G cartel, and then we follow their financial transactions to the chemical companies in China, and that's the first step we look at when we're looking at packages coming back and forth from China.
Let me turn it over to Senator